So when it goes to the setting side, now you're going to push that way for a year. And what half of that year, 6 months of that's going to be pushing outwardly more. Half is going to be push. Just I got to push myself. I got to do this. It doesn't matter what other people are thinking so much. It's going to be difficult to finally say, well, what am I pushing for? What am I doing? Mars hits your IC, and you're home. You're angry. You're frustrated. You can't sit still. It's bugging you deeply. I can't work. It's opposing your midheaven, conjuncting your IC. You're at a point where it's whether it's angry dreams of frustrations or PowerPoint. You find this. I can't live like that. I got to do something. There's this. You get motivated inwardly to have to do something differently. I can't push like that anymore. So it often feels like I can't push for career. I can't find a job. Why bother doing it? So in a way, you stop pushing, even though Mars is your IC, you stop instigating with it. You're not pushing it out already. You're not just instantly getting a motive and trying to push for it. What happens is your motivation, your sense of security comes in. You're reacting to it, but because you realize that pushing is somewhat futile, you've been doing that for a year, you can't do it. You start reacting a little bit more to others. This is the setting side. And you start looking for the anchor to see if someone's curious, someone's reacting to what your energy. You're looking for the feedback. Is it what's used? Okay, if I do, can I do? You start getting the feedback. You're angry, you're frustrated, but you're still not just going on impulse as Mars hits your IC, your Mars is hitting your IC, and you're starting to go more on your reaction to other people, whether it's going to make you more secure or not. I can't just do this. It's not. So people have anger problems. People have overworking problems. This is burnout. Ascendant can be burnout, but the IC is a time when you're really changing the focus from pushing, thinking, I got to push this, to, wait, why push this? I got to align with it's got to align or adjust or be based on some reaction. So this is the setting side. So Mars goes on the side where you're reacting. So you start forcing your reactions to others. That can be out of touch too. You can be, I'm reacting to, I'm just doing this for you, I'm just doing this for you. And you could be reacting to other people, but it's not as strong. It's not going to show as assertively as when it was up on the midheaven or rising. So at the IC, you're almost opposed to midheaven, opposed status. You got to do things. How much can you put up with? What can you take? What can you do? At the same time, you can't push anymore yourself. You're having to push through adjustment, push with some incentive from other people, with some feedback, with some reaction. It can be good or bad reaction. That idiot, that's me, I can't let go of that. And you get caught up in anger or revenge or trying to get back. You're still reacting more than you're instigating. So that's the setting side. So you're reacting, and you're doing all your personal reactions subjectively. I got to do this, I got to do this. This will affect it more. Hey, honey, look, I'll do this for you. I'll do that. I'm doing this for you. And you're reacting to other people and doing things for them, whether they want it or not. But you're getting feedback for it. And it's tied up to that. Yeah, at the descendant, yeah, it'll change from other people's reactions to wanting to get out of the house, but reacting to people outside more, or outwardly more, and status-wise more, to putting it out by the time. So as you learn to work with people and do things with others and in reactions with others, you start getting a different type of force, a force of togetherness, a force of team, a force of reacting and doing things, reacting to others. And as you're doing things right, you're making things happen that helps others, hopefully helps others rather than doesn't help them. But it builds up to, and that kind of working with someone else and in reaction to other people builds up your career status, builds up your position. It shows what you're capable of doing. What's a power move? It's doing, you need to get this in. I can pull this off. I can make that happen. What can you achieve? And Mars gets up to mid, and then you're pushing your power, and you're most powerful and you're making it happen, but you can be hurting the feelings of individual people because we can get pumped up in our power and out of touch with if I'm out of touch with my personal, if I have to push to get this done, I have to leave my stuff at home. I can push you too, but I may not be sensitive to you, and you may start creating enemies. And people, so you're reacting, but when you get in power, you stop reacting. You start pushing your agenda, and other people are having to react to your pushing. And you're pushing your status, you're pushing things as it goes rising, as it goes past the midheaven and starts rising again. And you push it as far as you can, it builds up enemies, it starts feeling whatever, hits the ascendant, and you're still trying to, what can I do? It's on the rising side again. Then you start responding and building on the setting side. So you have the rising and setting Mars, then you have the subjective and objective sides of it. You end up with the 4 quadrants working around where Mars is. So when Mars is, you can say, okay, Mars is my second house. But if Mars is in your second house, it's rising. You're making it happen. You're instigating things, and it's below the rising. You're acting on your own motivation and instigating your own thing, and you're pushing for something to see what effect it gets. But you're not waiting around to see the effect. You're just pushing because you're there. If it's above, if it's up in the 11th house, you're going to be pushing because it's going to affect this, or it's going to do something. It's going to have a bit of an outer functional effect, and you got to go for it. It's going to take up more time. That's very different than if it's on the reacting half. It's in the 5th house. Oh, come here, honey, I'll make it better for you. You're not feeling good, I'll change this for you. I'll do this for you. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for you. Don't stop. Like, you start trying to almost control others by you're reacting to them, you're doing things for them, and instead of projecting it, you're responding to it. So there's kind of two forces in life with Mars. You can push things out, that's energy. You can pull it back, that's energy. So I can give out energy to you, I can take it back. I love you, I'll give everything for you. Don't touch me. I don't want to see you again. It's on and off. It's giving and taking. It's forceful, powerful energy. We all live and die on it. Our muscle tone builds up and falls apart. And the change of this, I'm never passive or comfortable. These are the types of experience we have. But what I'm pointing to here is when you get to the angles, you can use the rising and the setting and above or below to really qualify how this energy is supposed to be used and to really see the psychological, mystical insights of how that person's using energy, where it's going to lead to, what angle it's coming from, what angle it's going to, what's the next phase it's going to, and you begin to direct someone within that 6-month period, within that 3 or 4 or 5 months period, or 6-month period, depending on how close the angles are apart. Wow, this is part of the timing and direction of energy and action that gets very unique, and within a specific situation, if someone's I should have the charts. I don't have them now, but I remember one fella came to see me, and he tried to swim the English Channel 3 times and failed. And he was approaching 30. And he was 31, I think. I'm getting too old. Maybe I should just give up. Should I just give up on it? And I'm looking at his chart. I'm trying to decide, and I can't remember all the factors in it, but I remember encouraging him. No, you got a window. In 6 months, you could try this again, and you might. And if you do the right things, you can pull this off. And I figured out a good time, and he actually swam it and succeeded and swam the English Channel. That's bigger and harder than swimming across Lake Ontario. But it's an ocean, it's saltwater, it's different. But anyways, within a certain context of time, if someone's trying to get pregnant, they want to sleep with someone to get pregnant, they're 39. Where's their time period? Which way is it going? How way to go? Should you push? Should you align? When Mars is on the setting side of your chart, it's easier to align and adjust to others, let other people lead and adjust to it. When it's rising, it's easier to try and push to prove your things, to make an impression. You can see when it's time to put energy personally or when to put it outwardly. These are useful, these simple little things really help you work with the texture of Mars and experience. And the rest is just doing enough charts and watching them. But most of the time you deal with things by Saturn and the other planets and Saturn, you put it in perspective. But when you start saying, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do the next 6 months? What am I going to do this year? I got this blow up, I got this violent relationship that's building up. Is it going to get any worse? When do I go? Then you're walking into the thick of things. Or someone broke their leg and they want to stand up and they want to be running again, or they want to pick up, and you can start to see when they can or can't, or when they like. So if Mars breaks things, it's going to take Saturn a long time to really heal the structure. If the structure breaks or something forceful hurts something, it's going to take time to fix it. And there'll be still tests of Mars blowing things up or trying to prove things. I have to prove things. And if you've been rejected or don't fit in, it's really hard to prove. These are just real stories. And so my Sun's in the 2nd house, my Mars is in the 3rd house. So all my energy is me putting I'm motivated by doing something. I get my energy together, I get the thoughts together, and I go on it. I don't care whether everybody else is into it. I'm going to push it out. I'm going to get it out. I'm going to get it out. And I'll run into stress around it. Then I'll push it more. I'm trying to impress other people with it, but really, I'm not watching how it's impressing. I'm pushing my energy. I'm on a roll. I'm getting this out. I got to get this thing done. I got to make these drawings. I got to teach the class. I got to get these things going. My energy, when I'm there, that's my best energy. When I'm running interference for it, it's not going as well as I want. I have to adjust it or have other things, time demands pressing. I struggle when someone's opposing it or I'm being blocked from doing it. Whoa. Of course, I have a bad knee and a bad back from pushing things too far at different times in my life. And that limits how much physical, I change the way I have to use my energy. So when we're young, we have all kinds of physical energy, not much wisdom, but energy to do things. We have all the energy, we go do, we gain the experience, and we learn in the doing. As we get older, we don't have the same energy. We have more wisdom, not everybody, but we have generally more wisdom, and we figure out how to work around things or how to get things done without having to be directly so physical, how to delegate, we aren't necessarily so aggressive. And we don't have the same energy, so we have to learn how to work with less energy but we have the wisdom to be able to accomplish much more when we're older. So this changes at every 2-year cycle. There's a different mechanic or puzzle of how these cycles are going. You have to tune in what that person's going through, what age they are. A breakup at 20 is very different than a breakup at 27 or 28. It's very different than a breakup at 37 or different than a breakup at 45. Wow, and if you're younger, parents breaking up or fights are happening, families being win. There's always things happening. You can't be alive without running into things. You can't be alive without having to use your muscles and use your energy to try and make things happen or negatively not, and without having reactions. People will react to you doing too much, people will react to you not doing too much. And there's going to be force anyways. So you're going to have to deal with it. That's Mars. And when Mars comes up and touches things, well, you're being forced to it. Reactions are going to come up. Energy is going to come up. And if you're not dealing with it, there'll be accidents, cuts, burns, fevers, clussiness, falling overs, all kinds of things, bad dreams, anger. These things will just spin out and you go, oops, that's just the reaction. That's symptoms coming out. It's not the source of how you're not, you're not dealing with energy, but not the source of how can you work this? How can you direct it better? How can you tune it? How can you use this energy to guide someone, to get control of this, direct this? How to get someone to stop being angry or trying to go for revenge? Sometimes you can't, they're locked in, but you can plant an idea of where their energy is supposed to go so they can get absorbed in a certain direction and not necessarily be pulled into a negative direction. Sometimes people have a big blow up at work and they're meant to go on and let it go and get some other stuff for themselves or work to change it. Sometimes they just walk off work and they have to change it. Sometimes a battle will happen at work and the person will rebound, they'll deal with the rebound, they'll come out stronger a few months later. It's very different when Mars is, the priorities for what you're trying to do when Mars is up in the midheaven as opposed to Mars being below. But if you haven't really developed skills, you haven't really matured in your actions and had mature experiences and grown from them, when you try and get in social positions, you're going to have negative experiences. And you're going to be in positions when you're in your social position, you're going to get fired or failed, and you're going to get negative things, and you're not going to get the promotion, and you're going to get angry about that. And your time's been wasted, but really you've been wasting other people's time. And you're having to wake up, well, I'm going to have to get something, I'm going to have to learn another skill or not, or you can go through life making lateral moves and have this blow up, or you can evolve it slowly and keep growing through each of these to learning how to use your energy and to desiring new experiences to make this work. But whenever we have emotional problems or bigger things hit, what happens to our functionality, our energy? We stop directing our energy properly. We start justifying our negative things because, well, that happens, well, that's why I can't do anything. Or they did this to me, I'll never be the same. You did that to me, I'll never get over this. And it's mental judgments that aren't exactly true. It's emotional reactions that aren't exactly true for what's happened. It's just how we're responding to it, which we'll see in our natal chart. All these things are rising, setting, above, below. You already have a sense of it from working with the natal chart and then natal interpretation, seeing planets above, below, rising, setting. We've already worked in this functionality, so you can hear what I'm saying about the rising and the setting and above, below, and the conjunctions and the transitions between the two. And whenever Mars is hitting the ascendant and you're forcing issues, you're going to get the negative reaction on the descendant as well, because you're forcing issues and other people are not responding that well. It's putting priorities, the energy on one side versus another. So it's a puzzle. It's energy, but it's alive.